can't really see this. Can you zoom in a bit, please? Okay, web development pathway. We have web development pathway by Amadikwa Joy. Act Like a Brown by Heba. We also have the break, and we have a 10 minutes break. Then proceed with cybersecurity, how to get started by our speaker, Divrishi, and getting started with Flutter by Cynthia Peter. Then mental and emotional health by Aditi. Then we close. Once again, I welcome you on for joining. I'm excited that you guys are here, and I urge you to stay tuned, relax, have a good time, have fun with this event, and also learn. Thank you very much. So I'll be calling on our first speaker, Chinyere Ude, to give us the keynote speech. Hi, Chinyere, are you there?
Yes, hi everyone. Good afternoon,
Hi.
all the way from Nigeria, Abuja.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So today I want to thank everyone for participating at this event, which we're hosting virtually in partnership with Smart Kids Zone. So I'm very honored to be a keynote speaker today. So let me get to it. My name is Chine Ude. I'm the Managing Director at Smart Kids Zone, Abuja, Nigeria. Smart Kids Zone is the first action-based learning center in Africa, where children and teenagers learn hands-on technology, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy skill through movement. It is a great opportunity to serve as a keynote speaker at this prestigious event, which I hold most dearly to my heart. The International Women's Day, which is celebrated every year, is a great time to celebrate as well as reflect on ways to impact and create changes in the world, starting from our immediate communities. The theme, Courage to Create, sends a powerful message to every woman across the world to be brave, determined, and resilient. Due to the global pandemic, a lot of changes were made, especially in our workplaces, education, and the way we do business, thus creating tremendous opportunities and opening more doors for women to be included. Years back, Women's Day across the world held millions of networking events, both virtually and physically. But today, we are left with no choice than to host virtually. Yes, the importance of physical connection cannot be overemphasized. But with technology, the global reach has been tremendous, especially this year, where millions of women have engaged through technology to celebrate Women's Day, to celebrate women who are creating change in their communities. The past 1 year, technology has become one of the most effective tools to connect and to reach out. As the pandemic ravages the world, I personally believe that this will bring the greatest shift as we are fully welcomed to the fourth industrial revolution. The shift means more opportunities in the industry. According to the Women in Technology statistics in 2020, men outnumbered women in engineering industry. A whopping 80% of those in the field are men, while only 20% are female. This is really sad and discouraging. My experience as a director at Smart Kids Zone, I have witnessed firsthand the poor statistics of girls being almost nothing to existence in the STEM field, just because they are simply not encouraged. That was why we launched the Smart Girls Tech team to encourage more girls to embrace STEM. With what is happening in the world, in today's world, The pandemic has presented everyone with limitless opportunities. What does this mean to us women? No excuse, no more excuse. Technology has created limitless opportunities for everyone to learn new skills, get information, and get mentored, and all the skills they need to thrive. With technology in our palms, it is possible. With technology in our palms, it is very, very possible. With the fast penetration of internet access and learning and acquiring new skills is possible on the go. Why not be encouraged? Why not be courageous to go for it? We all now have equal opportunities as everyone to rise. Nobody is holding us back anymore but ourselves. This is the time for us to use technology to our own advantages, to our own advantage to create opportunities, jobs, and solve problems in our communities. This is the time to be brave as women, to make choices that will benefit us and our generation. This is the opportunity to use our voices to create, to advocate, to mentor, and to inspire positive change. This is the time to reach out as we all connect with millions of women across the world. I believe that technology is a great tool that will change the world for good. We all have the equal opportunity to shine in the tech space, especially now. Please be brave. Please be courageous to use your voice, create and impact good for good. I want to use this opportunity also to thank the Google Developers Community Abuja for organizing this laudable event, and also the Techmakers community for creating a platform to engage and inspire women across the world. I want to say to everyone to keep pushing, keep impacting. Yes, we are here and we are almost here. We're already creating and making huge changes in our community. I want to also say thank you to everyone for joining us from everywhere in the world, and happy Women's Day. Thank you.
So I would hand over this to my co-host, Women Techmaker, Wagolada, in person of Fatima. She's going to take it up from here. Hi, Fatima.
Hi everyone, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us live on this event today. And according to what the keynote speaker said, be brave, be courageous. Ladies, we have a say also in technology. Technology is not just a field for guys. Ladies, we do have um, our own opportunities also. We shouldn't leave the space for just male to dominate. We ladies also have a say. So I would want to move on to the first speaker of the day, um, Miss Botra. I'm sorry for that, Miss Botra. You're supposed to take us on the power to be invent. So thanks for joining us. Next time.
Let me share my screen first. Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing great. Thank you for joining us today. And firstly, I would like to thank organizers for this invitation to be a speaker in this event. It's such a great pleasure to address you all today from Morocco. My name is Bushra Halmouni. Today, I will be speaking about the power to reinvent yourself. Actually, the objective of the course is to shape your destiny and help you design your personal and professional career. The course brings you to go beyond your limits, to a world of unlimited power and achievement. Now, I would like to know you by giving your name, profession, and one of each greatest achievements. You can just answer in the chat box.
Ms. Botra, do you mean everyone on the platform should actually do this? The name, profession, and biggest achievement in life thing?
Yes, everyone, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll go first. My name is Fatima Al Hassan, and I'm a beginner web designer. Achievement in life, let me see, that's a big one. I can't really think of one at the moment, please. The next person.
Okay. Any other volunteer?
I would go. My name is Devishri Nayak. I'm an assistant teaching professor at the University of Washington, Tacoma, here in the United States, in the state of Washington. My biggest achievement in life, there are many, but one of the few is I'm
I
currently
don't know. My name is Devish Nayak.
profession.
I'm assistant teaching professor at the University of Washington, Tacoma, here in the United States, in the state of Washington. My biggest achievement in life, there are many, but one of the
So currently I am working as a professor. So that's one of the biggest achievement I'm currently serving. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Any other volunteer?
Hello.
Okay.
So, my name is Chine, and I am the managing director for Smart Kids Zone. And one of the biggest achievements I have accomplished is creating the platform for younger people to learn digital skills and entrepreneurship skills. And I have also created an online digital marketing, an online digital e-commerce market and delivery platform in Nigeria where people can market their goods and make deliveries in time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi, I'm Blessing. Hello, Awinsibi. I'm a microbiologist. I'm a front-end web developer. My biggest achievement so far is creating a community of women in tech in Papi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Adekojoy N from Nigeria. So one of my biggest achievements so far is starting up a firm that we call Coded Ladies Innovate Tech, where we encourage more women and empower them into joining the development tech industry in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Well, actually, the lesson taken from the presentation is that each and every one of you is unique in the world, because every individual is a unique existence of this world. Now, I want you to give some ideas of what you think can make a person successful. So, what do you think? Some ideas that that person needs to be a successful one. Anyone knows or have any idea about this? So let's us play a game. If you take letters A to Z, and each letter corresponds to a number from 1 to 26. Even if some people play their lives on luck by gambling, for example, this will not necessarily make them 100% successful. It reflects only 47.8%. And even if some people place love in an important place, this will not necessarily make them 100% successful. Even if some people place money in an important place in their life, this will not necessarily make them 100% successful. Some people can have exemplary leadership skills, but this still doesn't make them 100% successful. And even if people works hard, this will not necessarily make them 100% successful. We have seen that luck, love, money, leadership, and even hard work are not enough to make someone 100% successful. So, what do you think can make you 100% successful? Attitude. Attitude. Is it important for someone to have the right attitude? Always be positive, and that to be 100% successful. Everyone shall need to change their attitude to be able to create their own path to success. Attitude is the key to success. Time is needed to achieve success, especially if we have a family, a profession, and is active in any organization such GDG or Women Techmakers, for example. So, what is the percentage of time is spent in urgent but not important things? More than 55% of your time is spent on urgent but not important issues. For example, I am a busy person, but actually my mobile is on silent mode as my urgent call is not as important as this training that I'm conducting. So one needs to know his or her priority. With our to-do list, we need to prioritize our task based on importance, not urgency. And for that, we need to understand the time management matrix. Living in box of two is a concept that comes from Dwight D. Eisenhower's decision principle that was popularized by Stephen Covey in his famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Covey designed a matrix that helps individuals prioritize, sorry, prioritize activities, determining which activities are important, which are urgent, and which can be considered distractions or interruptions. According to Covey, urgency can be defined as requiring immediate attention, and importance has to do with an outcome that contributes to an individual's mission, values, and high priority goals. First, you need to create a to-do list and include all tasks you need and you want to do within the next week, or set a period of time of your choosing. Second, prioritize these activities based on importance, not urgency. You can use a scale of 1 to 5 or reorder the activities based on importance. Either option will work. Third, sort all the activities into the appropriate quadrants based on the constraints in the slide. Fourth, now evaluate where you are spending most of your time and consider how you can start working toward quadrant 2, important and not urgent. Now that you understand the basics of the matrix, you can put it to use and start moving toward living in box 2. And remember, it is important to live above the line, so make sure to set your priorities based on quadrant 1 and 2. You don't have to consult a fortune teller to predict your future. But you have to create your own vision. What your mind can conceive, you can achieve. You shall create your own vision and believe in yourself to make it happen. Now, I want you to think about how many of you are working but don't like what you are doing. How many are working without passion? If you have a vision but don't believe in it, it will never be achieved. Let's use the acronym GREAT. I want you to give your best always, release your fears, enjoy life, act with passion, transcend and make a difference. You must believe in yourself, in your capacities, before being able to put it into action. I have a question for you. Do you want to be a slow or top achiever? A snail covers 400 meters in 37 hours, or a Formula One car covers 4,400 meters in 9 seconds. I have another question for you. I want you to think about what are the resources needed to achieve your entrepreneurial vision. Please write your answers in the chat box. Is it possible? Or maybe you can just unmute your mic. So the question is, what are the resources needed to achieve your entrepreneurial vision? All right, so let's use the example of a lever. You need to put resources on one side to achieve your vision, and those resources are contacts and relationships, talents, emotions, money, belief in yourself and your vision. Too often, we only think when confronted to a problem. Let us see now if you can think differently and think out of the box. We will play some quiz questions. There is an ancient invention still used today that allows people to see through walls. Anyone have any suggestion about the answer of this quiz? What do you think is it? Something that allows people to see through walls. Well, actually, it's a window. It's so simple. Secondly, in the calendar, some months have 30 days and some 31. How many have 28 days? Very simple also. It's all of them. Who discovered America? Christopher Colombo. Also, who discovered America? All those who were in the ship. Indigenous people. Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the highest mountain on Earth? Is the Mount Everest. Let me ask you a question. Do you like painting? If I separate you into groups and give each one a plate, a paintbrush, and one different color each, I give all groups red color except two groups blue color and ask you to make purple color. The answer isn't in one group, but in everything, and sharing your colors with another different group color. Now, I want to tell you a story. Once upon a time, in a village, there were 100 red people who met one blue people. In another village, there were 1,000 red people and two blue people who met for the first time. Extraordinary blue people meeting ordinary red people. What will a town of red people turn into when a group of extraordinary blue people meet them? All the red people are turned into purple, because extraordinary people turning ordinary people into extraordinary people. So, believe that you are those extraordinary people and make positive change around you, in your town, and in your community. Let me ask you another question. Do you believe that you are like a cat or like a panther? Is it all here in your mind and in your heart? People act according to their beliefs and attitudes. Now, I want you to find great words which can replace good words on the slide. For example, we have all right, it can be replaced by super. So, how do you think you can feel after replacing the good words by a great one? So, we replace all right by super, attractive by gorgeous, confident or determined by unstoppable, fantastic by fabulous, fast by ballistic, fortunate by unbelievably blessed, great by phenomenal, okay by perfect or fantastic or energized. So remember, when you are a kid, every dream was possible. While you grow, we tend not to dream enough, to just think about it. The best way to predict the future is to design it. Your destiny is in your hands. So, what makes life worth living? What do I dream of? How will I be remembered? Live your life. Live your dreams. Life is short. Leave a legacy. Now I want you to close your eyes for a few seconds and try to create your vision. So, what is your vision for 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years? And what will you be remembered for? So, will be just like an exercise. After this event, I want you to take a paper and write your vision. The lines you are going to write are the most important lines of your lives. I want you to always climb to the top to achieve your personal success. Like that man climbing to the top of this coconut tree. Who can give us a summary on what she has learned and what she will use in the future? Is it possible for any one of you? To give us a summary about what we have learned so far? Yes?
So I learned that from this presentation, thank you for this presentation. I learned that be positive, work really hard, and never give up, and try to be, leave a legacy of positivity and, helping people, and think very positive and have a plan, goal within 5, 10, and 15 years, and, be positive and keep going.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and for your attention. So that's it.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Bashra,
much. Just finally, I would like to say just remember that the extraordinary blue people that you are, because you are like a ball. All your power is within your mind and heart. When you put action to your vision, it rebounces and reacts extraordinarily. So thank you so much for joining today, and thank you for organizer committee. So wish you all outstanding success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bashra, for that wonderful presentation. And thanks to every other person who listened to that presentation. Thank you once again for joining us. I would like us to move on to the next presenter, who is Ms. Joy, and she'll be taking us on web development pathway. Ms. Joy, the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you everyone for having me. And thank you to our previous speaker for that awesome session. It was really superb, actually. So, be sharing my slide now. Okay, I think I'm there now. Can you see? Please, if you can see my slide, let me know.
We can't see your slides now. We saw before. So if you share your screen and
Share screen, okay. So hopefully you can see it now, right?
yes, now we can see.
Okay. So good day, everyone. I'm Adequajoy N. I'll be taking us on web development pathway. So good day, everyone. I'm Adequajoy N. I'll be taking us on web development pathway. So let's jump into it. And most of us will be asking, what is this web development, and how can one get started with it? So I'm going to show us the in this session the things we are going to be covering. We're going to be covering the what a web development is and how the internet actually works, the UI UX, the front end development, the back end development, full stack, and databases. I'll be giving us a little information that things that you can also need to know about it before you get started or you jump into web development. I must tell you that web development is one thing that you need, or one thing that have been paving way in the tech industry. So most of us will be asking, what is this web development and how does the web or the internet actually works? But I tell you that all websites are just a bunch of files, because most of us have files on our system. So they are a bunch of files that are actually stored in the computer called a server. So what I'm trying to say is that you store that particular file that is in your system. Currently is no longer in your system. You're trying to save it in another person's actually system that is being called a server. And once you transfer that particular file from your own system to that server, your system, or from your own, and hence you're using your browser or your Chrome, your system now becomes the client of that. So this server is actually connected to the internet, and you can then load that website through the web browser. And what do I mean by web browsers? You have a lot of web browsers today, ranging from Google Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla, so on, even Safari and others that you can access on your computer or your mobile phone. Your web browser also is called the client in this situation because you are trying to access something, a file that is in someone else's system. Let's just say you are in a network now, and I'm the one sharing information to you. In this scenario, I'm your host, where you are kind of my client. So I'm your server. I'm the one serving you. You are the client trying to collect something from me. So every time that you are on the internet, you, who is actually the client, is getting and loading data. Maybe the data you're loading might be getting an information about a blog, or a blog post about probably an WTM event that is happening anywhere around the world. Or you are trying to upload something to that particular server. You're trying to, maybe a blogger, you're trying to send a post to the server. That's your website that you uploaded on someone else's system. That's the server. So this actually, your back and front going between this thing, between the client and server, is the basis of the internet. So that anything that you can access in your browser is something that a web developer have built. Okay? Hence you can access it from your browser. Somebody somewhere that is a web developer have already built that particular thing for you to be able to access it from your own end. So we now come, there is this saying that design is actually thinking made visual. And you have been thinking about something, well, I want to develop a website and I want it to be like this and like that. Whether you are the one that initiated the idea of the website, or you're actually doing it for a client, before you start developing that particular website, you need to have maybe kind of a view of how that particular site works, or what it's going to look like, or anything related to it. So you have already visualized it. Now the next is for you to start designing it. So that's bring us to the UI UX design. The UI UX is actually an acronym for user interface and user experience. So although there are people that can become a web developer, maybe in the area of UI UX, you can decide, no, I don't want to do the coding part. I just want to be kind of the designer. Let me just be I'm sketching what is in your mind, and so that it will be user friendly, that you guys and the user can have a lovely experience and be able to connect in between pages. So I know most of us be asking, what is this UI and US? Actually, the UI and US are two distinct facets of web designs. yeah, they can be used hand in hand. Okay, so while UI focus on your design interface and how the user interacts with it, your US emphasizes on the user's experience as they use your products or your services. That they use that to your website. The UI user interface focuses on the interface of your website, while US focuses on the experience. How would they feel when they access that your website? So your UI too uses designers that they need to design an accurate wireframe mockup or prototype and render minimal viable products. When you are doing your user design, although most people actually mistake UI US with graphics design, they are actually quite two different things. We'll go into that later on, or maybe you will research about the difference between graphics design and the UI US. So the UI US actually centers on designing your product, that site, that app, that software, anything that you want to build. You use the UI US to design it, like display, so that the front end guys can now start what they are doing. We'll go into front end actually later on. But you can't just become a UI US just like that. There are some necessary tools that you need to have. We have in my community, we have lots of developers and lot of UI US designers in my community. Those their own focus is just to design the product. Once they are done designing that particular product, they now hand it over to those people that will code it, like implement it. So here you don't really write code. Hence, you are creative enough to visualize something and also implement it. You are good with colors and everything. I think UI US is good for you. So in case you want to venture into UI US, these are the necessary tools that you might be using to do it. There are sites that will check out Sketch, check out InVision Studio, check out Axure, check out Figma, check out Scraft, and so on and so forth. So you can, there are more to it on the site. Just browse your internet, some of the UI US tools that you will need to have to make your site, to kind of design your interface of your website. So that is it. One of the tools that they're actually using in my community is more of Figma to other ones. So there are some places or area you go that they are using more of Sketch to other ones. So, but my area they are using more of Figma to other ones. But you just check and see the one that maybe you are good and comfortable with, then you can now go with it. I tell you that a site that you use your UI a site that you develop before the development, you structure the UI and the US aspects of that particular site will be far more better than a site that you just jump into coding without thinking about how the UI or the user experience of that particular site is going to be. Then, after you are done sketching the UI US of your website, the next set of people that will have is the web developer. The front end, sorry. So the front end guys are the people that kind of had code, or people that code that particular designs that you implemented on the UI UX aspect of the website. So the front end guys will now sit down, they now choose the languages that they actually want to make use of in designing that particular UI UX. But before I go into it, the front end deals with the part of a website or application that the end user actually sees and interacts with. As a front end developer, you will be working to make the website beautiful, functional, and accessible. A common thing you will do as a front end developer is also work with the program manager and also the designer, because as a front end guys, you'll be working more with your program manager. Maybe the person will be like, okay, I want this button to kind of stay here. I don't want it to stay here. The front end, the designer might not be there to actually effect it on the design. You, the front end, can effect it on your code, while the front end, the designer cannot effect it on the design. So these are the two basic people that you actually work, especially mostly with when you are designing your front end aspect of your website. So they are the one that kind of hard code what the users will see once somebody enters a site. Okay, let's just say once you enter the YouTube, that's visual, graphical design, maybe an animation, something that is moving front and back and everything. They are being done by the front end guys actually. So they are much interested in what the users see, and they are hard coding what a designer designed. Okay, so when you think of front end development also, you should know that the creative and visual nature of a front end is often a determining factor of choosing a career path in front end. Hence, you are creative enough and you are very good at visualization about things. I think you are good to go with front end design because it's about you. At times you may not design, you may decide not to go with a UI UX person. As a front end, you can maybe decide to sketch your own UI UX on by yourself. Those things also have to do with creativity and visualization. So that is actually what front end it's about. But before you also jump into front end, this you cannot just enter into it and start coding or anything. There are some tools that you will need to um use to make it a success, which is one of the popular tools that we all know, like your HTML, your CSS, your JavaScript, and some of the frameworks. The frameworks here can be most maybe JavaScript frameworks, your CSS frameworks, JavaScript frameworks can be your React.js, your React.js and maybe Bootstrap for CSS and other things. So this framework can come in if you want it to come in. But the basic languages that you need to know is your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. With these three, not actually language, because HTML is actually a markup language. It's a markup language. While CSS is the styling sheet that you use to style it. Maybe after mocking up, HTML is like you writing a note, writing something on your MS Word. Just open my MS Word and start typing. Then the CSS aspect is you for designing that particular document that you're typing. But you now say, okay, this is the header. Let the header be like this. Let me give it this color. Let it stay this particular location. Where you are trying to format that particular text is your CSS. While the JavaScript is kind of putting something animated or a bit functionalities to that particular dummy test that you're trying to implement. Let's just say in your website, one of the examples of that JavaScript is maybe when you click a button, I click a button to submit and I click it submit. The button might kind of throw an alert that your document can be submitted. Or when you click on submit on that particular button, it will not change from submit to apply. So those things you do it with your JavaScript. You just use JavaScript to add some functionalities to that particular dummy test or dummy button you created with your HTML and CSS. So, and once they said HTML, the front end is not the end deal of the thing. User will come to your website. Yeah, quite all right. Your website might be lovely, attractive, the best designs ever in the world. But hence user use that system and maybe try to log into their app or to that particular website, but couldn't log in due to their data are not being collected or into your system, or there is no other implementation that has been done. That means the person will maybe not visit. They will know that this particular site is actually a dummy site. It's not actually dynamic. They only just come and read what is on the page. There's no other interaction you do. Although, mind you, there are some certain things you can also do with your JavaScript, some of this dynamic nature, but it's actually to an extent. So that is where to give your site that dynamic nature that is very attractive and superb. That's where the back-end guys come into play. What does the back-end guys do? The back-end guys are the ones that handle the design, the hard coding of the site to make it dynamic. The back end is actually the part of the website that you can really see, that you cannot really see actually. Sorry. The back end, you don't see the back end, but it handles a lot of the logic and functionalities that is necessary for everything to work on that particular site. You don't see it. Let's just say, let me use an instance. You attended a WTM event in Abuja or anywhere they are organizing it. As an attendee, you enter that particular event, you saw the building, you enter inside the hall. It's very fine, like well decorated and everything set in place. Then at the back of that design, there are some places they tie knots and they kind of hide it from the user to see it, or from the attendees to see it, because once they see it, it may kind of distort the design, not make it to look kind of attractive or good. So that particular place that is being hidden from the users or from the attendees is actually the back end of that particular environment, or let's just say actually the back end of that particular site. So that place, that's why they now handle the logic that actually gave you that particular view that you are actually seeing, and that the dynamic nature of your website. So it refers to the server-side development. It focuses on databases, scripting, website architecture. It contains behind-the-scene activities that occurs when performing an action on the website. It can be an account login, can say and make a purchase on the site, like e-commerce website, code written by a back-end developer help browsers to communicate with database information. Let's just say come to a website and for you to be able to log in, maybe you register your name. Okay, you enter on Facebook now, you register yourself, upload some images, and come later tomorrow to log into that particular site and fetch your images. You log in successfully and be able to see the images you uploaded some days ago. They didn't just happen like a magic. It's the work of the back end guys. They are the ones that are able to design that particular thing for that your front end to be able to interact with the back end. So most cases, the back end guys are not always seen because they are working always behind the scene, while the front end guys are the ones working on the scene where people see it. So there are some skills you need to also acquire for you to do some back end. I listed just but a few. You can also go online and research more about the skills that you need. One of the skills that you will need as a back end, like
Yes,
one of
Ms.
the
Joy, can
languages.
you pronounce it already, please?
What did you say?
Please, can you help us round up or sum up everything?
Yeah, okay, I'm
They'll have
running up.
less than a minute.
Yeah, I'm monitoring it, sorry. So one of the skills that you need is your PHP, Python, Node.js, Laravel, Ruby on Rails, and other things. So the server side skill is Apache and other things there. On the screen, you can also read up to just know any of the languages and you are good to go. And the other one is the database where you save your data, your information, those things that you uploaded on the site where you can be able to restore it. Because if there is no database, there is no feedback of data or anything. You cannot have a backup of what happened so far. So, and as a full stack is you having the knowledge of all those things, the front end, back end, and the database development thing. So that's what makes you a full stack, having the knowledge, the idea, or knowing the languages for all of them. So these are the tools for your database, MySQL, Postgre, and other ones. And notes, a knowledge of open source also needed, like contributing to GitHub, uploading your work to GitHub, and other things also an added advantage, and it's very important to you in today's society. So thank you very much for having me. If there is any question, I'm available to attend to them. Thank you.
Thank you also for joining us. I'll get back to you on the questions. Thank you. Would like to move on to the next speaker for the day, Ms. Hiba. You'll be taking us on Act Like a Brand. Please join us. Thank you.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks, Fatima. So I know that I have only 20 minutes, so I will just go quickly. So, okay, so first of all, the session is called Act Like a Brand. Let me first, oh, sorry for that. Yeah. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Heba Saleh. I'm working as HR Business Partner Support Functions at G4S Egypt. I'm from Egypt. I'm a Women Techmaker Ambassador and Women Techmaker and GDG Alexandria Organizer. So our session today is talking about personal branding. So just to go through, walk you through the agenda for our talk today. So we will first know what is personal branding. Then we will know why it's important to have a personal branding, and then how to discover our brand, and how to develop this brand, and finally how to communicate this brand. So first of all, what is personal branding? So we all hear about that when we want to just buy a phone or a laptop, we just hear about brands. So someone say that go to for HP, for Samsung, for whatever brand. So companies just trying to market for their brands so everyone know about it. So the same with our personal brand. It's just a process of how we market ourselves to others. So it's like a unique combination of skills, experience, and your personality that you want really the world to see. So, why should we develop a personal brand? Why it's important? So, just imagine that there are two persons. One of them really knows what's her personal brand, what she can offer for others, how can she help, what can she do, and the other just struggling to know what she really wanna do or what she can do. Which one of them will be more confident when talking to others? Of course, the one that she knows what she really can do. So, first of all, it's developing self confidence. Second, it helps you in your current job. So, imagine that you and your teammate are working in the same company and you are working on the same project, and you just like to work, but you don't talk a lot. People don't know what you really are doing, what you can do, and so on. But the other person just talk or always talk about what she is doing. So tell everybody that she did that, and how what she do just make the project successful and like that. If there is an opportunity for a promotion, who is the one will be promoted first? Of course, the one that everyone knows what she can do. Second, networking and making new connections. And because, of course, if you just are confident to talk and to tell people how you can help them, you will be easily network with anyone and know and make connections. And of course, all of that will help you in finding new opportunities and partnerships. Perfect. So, is it easy to know my brand, or is it easy to just discover my brand, or is it everyone that know what exactly he or she can do? Actually, it's just when I say that, you will think it's very easy thing, and of course everyone knows. But when someone asks you this question, or just ask you to think about it, you will find it hard. So to discover your brand, there are two ways. First of all, your insights, and of course your insights are very important because it's supposed that no one knows you better than you. So you have to know yourself better, and to know everything about yourself in order to others to know you. And the other thing is insights from others. So regarding your insights, you have to know what exactly your goal. So why you are doing that, what you want to achieve. So short goals and long goals. It's very important because we will have short goals to achieve quickly and then long goals to achieve in the future. What are your values that you really can cross, or you're really very important for you? What are the skills that you have that can help you to just finalize a project or to do anything that help others? What are your passion, what you really are passionate about, what you really want to do, and what are the activities that you are doing now, so that so this is really what I'm doing now, so this is what I want to do in the future. So this is very important, and you really have to just, I really like to have a piece of paper and a pen, and to just sit and think and to write all my thoughts in a paper so I can see them. So try to just have a piece of paper and just think about what are your goals and what you can help others with. The second thing is insights from others. So don't let what people tell you that to just pass like that. Just think about it. So how do others describe you? People that are around you, friends and people that you're working with, how they describe you and describe your job. What are the three compliments that people make about you and just they more than one person tell to you? What about you makes people stop, watch, and say, "Wow, you are really awesome. How can you do that?" So all of that just makes you think about, this is the thing that people need me to do, or this is what people ask me to do, and how can I help them? So now I know what is personal branding, why I should develop my brand, and how I discover it. So is it just now I'm ready to tell everyone my brand is what and to just go to the market and work? Of course, no. Just imagine how many people around you work at the same in the same industry you are working to or doing the same function you are doing. A lot of people. So a lot of people around you. So you have to make yourself different. You have to differentiate yourself in order to others know you and others that seek your help. So differentiate yourself. Just identify your target audience, who you are, target audience that really will you will target for approaching them. Understand them, understand their needs, their goals, their values. So you know what they're really looking for. So what skills they are looking for, what help that they will need you to do. So think about what makes you different for them. So it's really very it's really okay to just go for LinkedIn to LinkedIn and search for people that work in the same have the same title or work in the same field, and see successful people and see what are these people have in their education, what courses they are attending, what groups they are in, what seminars or workshops they are attending, and then follow their steps. It's totally okay. Just try to differentiate yourself, see what others do to be successful, and try to work on yourself to differentiate yourself. After that, there's the most important thing. Of course, all of them are important, but it's not really good. Okay, if I know my brand and develop it, but no one knows about it, I really have to communicate my brand. And to communicate my brand, there are a lot of channels to do that. There are the resume or CV if you are applying for a job or even a scholarship. LinkedIn is a very important tool, and of course, social media. Let's go first to resume. So first of all, do you know what is the difference between CV and resume? Does anyone know? Okay. So CV is more detailed. It may be 3 or 4 or 5 pages. It has all the details. Resume is just short. It's just a 1 page or 2 page maximum, and it just has just the important points. Okay, so what should and shouldn't be included and tips for the outstanding resume? Let me share with you my resume. Just for example, of course, it's different from a country or another, but this is the fundamental or the basics. So first, you just add your name, add your email address, and try your email address to be similar to your name. Try to add your LinkedIn hyperlink here. So if you click, it will open. So when you send this CV or resume to any recruiter, he will easily go to your LinkedIn. First, qualification summary. So qualification summary is just telling what qualifications you have, and try to read the job description and make it, just find the keywords they require in the job description and just make a combination between your skills and these keywords. Don't lie, just write the truth and write what you really can do, but try to use these keywords. It's very important to use the keywords. After that, you will go for the experience. Okay, so some people ask me, should we go for education first or experience first? So if you are fresh grad and you don't have any experience, go for education first. But if you have experience, even if it's volunteering work, internships, write it. So experience, people also ask me, should I write the first thing I do and then I did before and then the one I did after that, or go for the recent one first? Always go for the recent thing first. Just write the most recent thing you are doing now first, and then go for the one before it and so on. Write first your the company, your title, location, and then the duration from when to when. It's very important to do that. After that, try to add your volunteering and leadership work, because it's really also an experience, because you have experience when dealing with people, dealing with in a project or in a volunteering work, that having events, that management events, or in, time management, or like that. All of these are experiences, and the same, do put the most recent one first. Put hyperlinks so recruiters can go and see what is it. So because they may don't know what is I Am Remarkable. So if I do a hyperlink, and it will just open the I Am Remarkable, and also write the institution name, your title, the location, and then the duration. Okay. So after that, I will add my education. Also add the most recent one first, and then the one before it. And the final thing, that if you have any award or any honor and like that. Okay, so what about LinkedIn? LinkedIn is very, very, very important, because most of the recruiters now are just do the job hunting. If they want to hire someone, they just go to LinkedIn Recruiter and type some keywords, and then LinkedIn suggests some profiles that meet their criteria. So in LinkedIn, it's very important. Let's go back here. Yeah. Okay. So it's very important to keep your profile updated. So whatever you do, just update your profile. If you have new, if you attended a new course, if you have new certificate, if you do new project, just go and update your LinkedIn, so your connections know that you are developing yourself. Use professional photo and write a good summary. So if you go to LinkedIn here, you will find, first of all, my name and MBA. I wrote MBA because I think this is an advantage. It's really it's a strength for me. So it's a keyword that I wanted to be used in my name. So Heba Saleh MBA. Then I just wrote my title. And here is the about that I'm talking about. So there are two ways. So the about that, you can write this section, or when you add all the experiences and education here, LinkedIn will suggest that what is the best about, or the best summary you can write. So it's important to just write everything in your profile, and then LinkedIn will just come up with a very unique and very good summary. It's also here we have the features, so you can just add, you can edit, so you can add posts, you can add articles, links, media, so anything that you feel like it's really very catchy and very important that recruiter can see in the, when he or she open your profile, add it. Add it here. I just added my career reader report, some reports, add my CV and like that. Okay. So here the experience. So you can find here on the right, we have the plus. So I will just click it and I will add the title and all the details I want to add. And you will find here media. So if there is a certificate, if there is photo, if there is a project or something I want to add, I will just upload or add a link. And here I will just choose if I want to share it with my network or not. Okay. So go write all the details, write the responsibilities, because it's very important to know for the recruiter to know that what you really are doing now, so he or she can have a better idea of what you can do. Even if for my volunteering work I added to. For the education itself, the same. I will add here all the education, add the media, and then press save. Also, if I have, like here in university, I have a certificate, so I add it. After that, there are license and certificates. I can add all the certificates or license I can. So it's just what you really want people to know about you. What you really want the recruiter or the company just to know that, wow, you really have amazing skills that we really wanted to hire you. So you add whatever you have, also skills and endorsements, and also here you will find accomplishment. Okay, so you will find that there are publications, courses, projects. So you will just check languages, organization that you worked on. So you just check and add whatever you can do add in this. So after that, okay, social media. Social media is very important because some companies just go and search and look for you in social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of these social media. So try to make sure that what you really share as public is what you are okay for people to see or to know about you. So don't just be careful about that. GitHub is very important tool, and try to add this as hyperlink in your resume when you write about it. It's very important, and you can add all the projects and all the work in it. So your presence on social media is very important because it tells the others who are you. Okay, so yeah. So finally, remember that your personal brand is what differentiates you from others. So invest in branding yourself. Just invest in your time to just sit and try to understand yourself, understand what you really what can do. Try to think about what people say about you. So invest in your time. Invest in your money and go and have courses and attend like seminars and like that to develop your brand. And invest in your energy and your effort to just make more efforts to differentiate yourself. And remember that everyone is necessarily the hero of his own story or her own story. So don't say that I'm not that good to have a brand, or I'm not that perfect or like that. You already are a hero in your own life story. But you first have to understand how you are a hero, how to know that what makes you a hero, so you can communicate that with others. Yeah, thank you so much. Now I'm done with my. Let me stop sharing. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope that I just I say something new for you, or I say something important for you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hiba, for that presentation. As we got to know more on how to brand ourselves, improve ourselves from what we used to be, update our social media accounts and handles, and make sure we are up to date. Thank you so much, and the questions will be dropped on the YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe there is Wall have a question, so can he write or she write it? Okay. Just feel free to just send me any question that you have in the future. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm back. So if you have any question, just drop it down on the chat box. And also feel free to introduce yourself. You could use your flag, dropping your country and all of that, but just drop your name and do a little bit of introduction. We would like to get to know each and every one of the attendees. Okay, so we're going to be on break, a 10-minute break. And meanwhile, the giveaway is still on. Just follow these simple steps. Follow WTM on Women Techmakers on Twitter. Take a selfie or a screenshot of you attending this event. Upload it on Twitter with the hashtag IWD Abuja. And then the tweet with the highest number of retweets and likes gets to win gift for us. And also there will be coupons from, yeah, so GDG organizer is going to tell us about how to win the coupons. So, Mr. Ayodeji, are you there?
Okay, so the contest, just as she has already stated, is to take a selfie of yourself and upload on Twitter with the hashtag IWD Abuja 2021. So the contest is also open for people on sites, because this is an hybrid event. We have people on site, we have people connected online. So if people in the physical space, you can also participate in the contest. We have t-shirts, we have a JetBrain coupon to go out. So you can take a selfie of yourself here in a physical venue or at home or wherever you're attending from. Take a selfie of yourself. If you're attending online, take a screenshot or take a selfie of yourself attending online. Then we get to announce the winner before the end of the program. So we have about 8 minutes more for our break. So after our break, we'll have our next speaker take the floor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I think the 10 minutes break is over now. So the next speaker would have with us is Miss Divishri, and she'll be taking us on cybersecurity, how to get started. Sorry for the wrong pronunciation. You're welcome.
Um,
So the next speaker will have with us.
Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone, and I would like to greet everybody in Abuja in the Nigerian language, and I learned just now, so please forgive me if I'm pronouncing incorrectly. So Nadio, how far, and Yaya Cookie, everyone. My name is Devishri. I'm assistant teaching professor at the University of Washington, Tacoma, at the state of Washington in the United States. This is my LinkedIn profile. If you'd like to connect with me, feel free to do that. I love to connect with everybody. Today we'll be speaking about, we'll be learning about cybersecurity and how to get started. And it is very, very important that we will learn and understand that what we are like, how cybersecurity is so important, and how cybersecurity is kind of impacts our day-to-day activity. And that's being said, let's get started. So this is the today's outlines, and we'll be covering this as you can see in the slides, uh, just for 1 to 7, just a kind of a alignment of like today's talk. So the first thing is I would like to understand is the power of getting started. So the power of getting started is start where you are at and what scenario you are in. So there is no age or there is no situation should be blocking you from learning about cybersecurity. You can be in various ages, maybe starting from 18-year-old to 36-year-old to 50 or 70. Cybersecurity in the present time impacting you. So the power of getting started is very, very important. How to build up your knowledge is important, and the motivation to learn things, to learn about why cybersecurity is important, because we are using telephone, we are using laptop, we're using computers, we are actually communicating, whether it's by phone, by connecting through the internet in the world. And I'm here sitting in Washington state, and I'm giving a talk in Abuja, Nigeria. So that's why like the power of digitalization, it's brought us together and also create a threat of which we will talk about, cyber attacks. So being informed and being knowledgeable is very, very important. In today's talk, I'll be speaking up the fundamental of cybersecurity, that how you can get started, enhance your knowledge with the minimal cost, and also you can teach yourself and participating in various competitions as well. If you have any questions, you can feel free to post it on your YouTube, and also you can reach out to me on LinkedIn after the talk as well. So these are some resources which you can actually follow to learn about cybersecurity. These are free resources you can see, or minimal cost. Hack the Box and Try Hack Me, actually it will give you more hands-on as well. There is Cybrary, nice national initiative for cybersecurity education. You can go to their website, and these are like Coursera, Udemy, and Udacity are the platforms, and there are many, but these are like one of the few I shared with you to learn that how to get started your career in cybersecurity. And it doesn't matter, like these are free resources which you can learn as you are progressing throughout your career, even if you are working full-time or stay home mother or father, or even if due to pandemic you lost your job and you want a skill set to enhance to going to the next level. These are the resources which will help you to get started, get your foot on the door, and then you can pursue your dream to pursue a career in cybersecurity. Next is, so these are the resources which we started with. Next is a multidisciplinary approach. So there are always a myth that only computer science or computer engineers only pursue cybersecurity. Actually, this is a myth. Cybersecurity is an umbrella of multidiscipline. So as is we say, like diverse, our world is so colorful that we have different languages, we have different color of people, we have different ways to represent each other, and the way we wear things or speak things or greet each other. The same way, cybersecurity is also colorful. It also multidiscipline. So any discipline you are pursuing, you can have a career in cybersecurity. You may ask question, well, how do you know? Because you are teaching, IT and cybersecurity. Well, I do have a background in criminology, criminal justice, focusing on cybercrime. Also, a interdisciplinary graduate degree where I combined computer science and information system courses. Also, I do have a computer engineering. So that with different background of my studies, I actually got to explore a multidisciplinary approach of cybersecurity. When I was going to college, at that point of time, the multidisciplinary approach of cybersecurity was not that talking point. Nowadays, it's much more. So if you see in this slide, it's cybersecurity. So any career you are having, like for example, if you are studying business or you have a career in business, you can switch your career to cybersecurity, which is called information security management. Those are the terms used. If you are pursuing political science and economics, you can do cybersecurity, like catching people who are like doing financial fraud, financial risk analysis. Political science we talk about, where it's much more like um, uh, like the combination sides of cybersecurity, health and science and mathematics. For example, if you are doing doctors and nurses and any healthcare professionals, like even if like public health, the data has been gathered, and those data science needs to be protected because data are targeted by cyber criminals. So that while you are a healthcare professional, you are also following that. Engineering, computer engineering, or being a security engineer, you will be protecting, like coding, and then you will be also doing cryptography with both mathematics and in engineering. You will be creating algorithm with automation process, so you can pursue a career in cybersecurity. Information science and computer science as well, kind of like we know. One of the myths is like psychology and sociology may not have any place. They do. Actually, there is a like psychology and sociology and criminology in, like it's kind of a mixture, which is a very huge application in cybersecurity. Study cyber criminals, prosecute them under the court of law, and then also decide that whatever the cyber criminal is breaching and stealing your data, how they need to be handled. Those are the things with a different domain of cybersecurity we can pursue. And wherever you are at, don't feel discouraged that you do not have a place. Only people who are pursuing computer science or engineering, they do have a place in cybersecurity. Actually, you do have a place. Next is we learned about like different approaches and multidisciplinary approach and diverse approach in cybersecurity. Next, I would like to talk about scholarships. There are a lot of scholarship options available globally, where you can apply scholarship for studies, training. You can also convince your employers to pay for your training. Some of the scholarship I am mentioning here, but there are many. One is Center for Cyber Safety and Education. You can see that they do have a lot of scholarship options, where you can see this scholarship not only limited to United States citizen. It's actually internationally, it's global. So you can do that, apply for the scholarship, and um, write an essay, ask for recommendation folks you are working with, and then you can do as well. ISC Square is one of the leading organization when we talk about cybersecurity. They do have women scholarship, and because we are talking about Women Techmaker also have graduate, undergraduate scholarship across the globe, including African, Middle Eastern continent, North America, South America, India, South Asia. Wherever you are at, you can go to a Women Techmaker website and literally like go for okay, sorry, literally go for application for scholarship and learn about cybersecurity. Next, what we learned, if we go as the outline I have produced. First, we went for like, what are the resources which will provide us to get started. Then the path of multidisciplinary approach, and then scholarship. Next is internship. I would like to talk about this internship. So the internship, when we talk about, this is when we talk about internships, it's like not only like we speak about internship, like we can think that only corporate has internships. Now there are various ways you can enhance your skills with your internship and your cybersecurity knowledge. You can join startups to enhance your cybersecurity knowledge through internships. Startups offers internships, which is nowadays all over the globe. You can do remote internships. Non-profit organizations, for example, UN, Red Cross, and then there are other non-profit organizations who also focused on healthcare, cybersecurity, especially. And then you can contact them and then volunteer. One of the non-profits is Women in Cybersecurity, which is I am also part of it, and I do mentorship there. It's huge. You can look for internships there in their website. Universities, in your universities with professors, you can do research and you can count as a part of experience as an internship, including big companies like Microsoft, Google, and Twitter, and like there are others which provide you internships. You can also work as in a IT or cybersecurity professional for hospitals, help them to follow the standards and protection of the data. You can work in government as well. Different countries have different governments based on where you are at. That's one of the options people do. That's why I added it. You can also teach in middle school, high school, universities, and 2 years colleges, boot camps, and being a mentor, and count that part of internships as well. And there are various words like internship, externship, and then return to work. So that kind of like different areas where you can explore. Only I think that most of us are generally focused on corporate, but there are so many options which is count towards your experience. Next is capture the flag. So the capture the flag is where you got to learn the things, you enhanced your skills, you kind of learn that like there are different approaches where based on your interest you would like to pursue, and then you would like to try your skills. And how do you try your skills is the capture the flag. These are one of a few famous capture the flag competitions: Google CTF, Hackers 101 CTF, DEF CON, but there are many other CTFs are available. But if you have a team, or if you don't have a team, create one and participate. Many CTFs are also available remotely as well. Once you actually organize it, you will be able to see and do well. And it's not only important to win it, participating also gives you more experience and great experience, and gradually you can develop your skills and you'll be successful one day and will be a winner. So don't be discouraged if you are not able to win in the first time, but it will give you a huge experience. Next is when we talk about like how you can pursue other than your self-taught. There are certifications, boot camps, universities. There are graduate, undergraduate program, which is bachelor's, master's program. You can also pursue PhD if you would like to be in academia or research and development. If you, there are various ways. Networking and mentorship, I always encourage that. Apart from self-taught, attending this kind of events, Women Techmaker across the globe, and being a part of other organizations, networking and mentorship is very, very important. Networking is by virtually, because we are connected virtually now. But whenever, like even if in a local area, try to get together and connect with technology people through LinkedIn, through Twitter, or any other social media platform, and try to learn about and express your desire to learn about cybersecurity. Security communities are really great. They are very, very helpful, especially like if you're on Twitter and LinkedIn, and then they would love to help you. And this is my experience. They're very, very supportive. And mentorship, again, you can request your professors, you can request your school teachers, you can request whoever like you are connected with as a part of this Women Tech Maker events, which will give you a very wonderful opportunities to enhance your skills and being a great talent in cybersecurity, because we literally need talents in cybersecurity, and especially when we talk about women representation in cybersecurity. I think it's 11% globally last time I checked, but we have to work a lot to achieve when we talk about diversity inclusion in cybersecurity, and we need everybody's support and participations in every level. These are some organizations. I am also part of it, and you are also part of it. We are talking about Women Techmaker. There is also OWASP, which is like one of the world's largest like application security group, and Women in Cybersecurity. And these are like freely available. OWASP has a lot of pen testing tools which you can download and try it out. You can also open a chapter at OWASP. And then I'm a lifetime member, and also like in Women in Cybersecurity, I am a part of Inclusion Working Group. Again, these are the groups which is Women Techmaker also in every various ways. And the best part is that neither you with these type of groups, when you are involved, you not only gain the confidence of being somebody or like the how great talent you are, you also get to meet people like you who are also went through maybe the same journey or maybe a different journey. So this is fascinating and this is very inspirational. I strongly encourage everybody, no matter like you can be men, women, or any other gender, LGBTQ, trans, do become a part of it. It's very welcoming, and you do have a place in cybersecurity despite of whatever your major, whatever where from where you are coming from any walks of life. That's being said, that's all for this talk. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed this talk. Feel free to reach out to me if any way I can help you in your career or in your journey of employment. Love to talk about cybersecurity. I'm really passionate about. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Devishri, for that talk. I'm sorry for the wrong pronunciation. Also, I know and I believe with what the resources you just gave us, anyone who is looking to start up a career in cybersecurity should be able to and also seek help from all these resources. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want us to move on to the next speaker, in person of Miss Cynthia, and she'll be taking us on getting started with Flutter. You're welcome, Miss Cynthia.
Hi, hello everyone. I am so excited to be joining everyone today on this call. Okay, so far I want to really appreciate everyone that has spoken before me. Also, I want to appreciate the organizers of this event. It's really been an eye opener for me. And okay. Give me a second.
Miss Cynthia, can you please try sharing your slides again and see if it comes up? While we're waiting for Miss Cynthia to join us, please be patient with us. I do believe she will be up with us in a minute. Thank you. You're welcome back, Miss Cynthia. We are waiting.
I'm so sorry about that. I have no idea. This must be my village people because I mean I've been connected since the beginning of this act. All of a sudden I'm having network issues. Okay. Okay. Good day everyone and thanks for joining us on this event.
Sorry for that delay. I think Miss Cynthia is having issues at her end. So would like to move on with the next speaker, Miss Aditi. And you're taking us on mental health and emotional health. You're welcome, Miss Aditi. Thanks for joining us. Still can't hear you, Miss Aditi. Miss Aditi. Miss Aditi, maybe you should log out and try logging in again and see if it comes up with sound. Sorry for that delay. I think she's trying to log in again, so we'll have to just wait. Thanks. Thank you. Okay. Miss Cynthia, are you ready for your section now?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you now.
awesome. I'm sorry about that. I'll just share my screen now. So, yeah, I think Fatima confirmed that she can hear me. So, hi everyone. I am firstly so thankful to be a part of this session. I think there were some amazing conversations, and I'm so very happy to speak on something which I'm extremely passionate about. I run a non-profit with the name Speaking Grey, and we are dedicated to the cause of emotional well-being and mental health. And for the same, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about everyone who has joined us. We'll be talking about the importance of mental well-being, self-care, and basically reaching out for support. We hear this term a lot, like mental health generally. But basically, what is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. According to World Health Organization, they define mental health as a state of well-being where an individual realizes their own abilities to cope with normal stressors of life, uh, and at the same time able to move forward with their day-to-day life. So basically, a state of well-being where you are able to deal with everything around you without letting that take a toll on you. um, so it's been more than 1 year that we are in these times of the pandemic, and things have been extremely stressful. Due to the pandemic, I think everyone is experiencing an all-time high stress and anxiety, irrespective of the fact whether someone has a mental health issue or not, or there is a diagnosed mental illness or not. There is definitely a lot of stress and anxiety which we all experience time to time, and that is because of high level of uncertainty which is there. There is definitely a lack of social connection. uh, there is so much confusion that it is only human and natural to feel this way. And even though times are tough, I think the way to cope is that we prioritize our self-care. We check in with ourselves, we check in with our family members and our loved ones, because even if there is less of social connection, we can still be connected with each other through these virtual platforms. And I think we should capitalize on that, and we should make ourselves plus the people who we love know that they are not alone. In these times, if one is feeling extremely stressful, one needs to know that they are definitely not alone. A lot of people are feeling that way, and reaching out for support and help can make them feel connected with each other. And at the same time, I think reaching out for help is extremely brave. It shouldn't be seen as a weakness, or it shouldn't be seen as any kind of shortcoming, because all of us need a little support at different times. During these stressful times, meeting our basic needs is super important, which basically includes physical, emotional, and social needs. And I hope that each one of us can prioritize that and focus on ourselves. Importance of mental health for women professionals, because we are speaking on the occasion of International Women's Day, and this wonderful community of women who have organized this session, plus all the wonderful speakers which we had, understand that how important it is for women to come forward, to represent us in the best way possible. And that again highlights the fact that as women we really need to take care of ourselves. In our culture or in our society, sometimes we may notice that women don't have a tendency of taking care of themselves first, because they are taking care of their families, or they are concerned about something else. And self care is something which may not come naturally to a lot of women. But I think that is something which we need to change, and we need to prioritize that. Social and economic factors can definitely put women at a greater risk of poor mental health sometimes. There can be toxic work environment, there can be toxic home environment, or anything and everything which women may go through due to different factors that can lead them to be at a greater risk of a poor mental health. And that again brings us to the fact that as women, we really need to prioritize our emotional and mental health. Lack of women representation at work or at different professions can also definitely lead to a lot of stress and frustration. As women, when we see that we are not getting what we deserve, it is only natural and human to feel frustrated or to feel stressful. But I think if something like this happens, we again need to prioritize our self-care. We again need to prioritize our mental wellness, while we are moving towards a time wherein there is where we see such great women and powerful women who are contributing to make a change. And while that change may take a little while, I think what we need to do is keep moving forward, and keep moving forward while taking care of ourselves. Moving on to the next part, something which is very common, unfortunately, in these times, is dealing with stress, depression, and anxiety. Whether someone has a diagnosed condition or they are just experiencing certain stress or anxiety symptoms, one needs to know that the COVID situation has taken a toll on everyone's mental health. Especially it's been tougher for those who are already living with a condition, who have been diagnosed or who had been diagnosed with a condition. These times are absolutely tough due to various factors. But if you're feeling this way, know that you're not alone. Know that help is out there. No one has to struggle or suffer in silence. We can always reach out to someone who we trust. And if we are not able to reach out to someone we trust, there are a lot of virtual platforms, there are a lot of virtual support platforms, helplines, which are out there where you can express how you're feeling. Whether whether you choose the anonymous way or you go ahead and tell them about you, either way, whatever is comfortable for you, I hope that you know that it is so important to reach out for help when we need that support. And this is just your sign to tell you that if you have been thinking about reaching out for help, then please do reach out for support. Mental health issues are something which are highly stigmatized, have been stigmatized for a very long time. But I think with due awareness, there has been a little bit of change in one's perspective. We really need to know that mental health issues are not something which are only in one's head. They really manifest into different physical symptoms. When one is feeling anxious, they may feel their hands may start trembling, they may get a headache, they may feel like a sinking feeling, something in their stomach. And these are the things which we all experience. And I think it is so important to know that mental health is equally and as important as physical health. Things which one can do during these times to manage stress levels is that one cannot ignore a balanced, healthy diet. You really need proper rest and sleep, so please make sure that you are giving your body and mind proper rest. Try to have a routine, even though it may not feel as motivating as it used to be earlier, but having a small routine can keep you on track and at least make you a little bit motivated to look forward to tomorrow. Self check-ins are super important. We often ask others, how are you feeling? But I think we should also ask ourselves, how are we feeling? And once we ask ourselves how we are feeling, we are able to understand that these are certain areas, or these are certain needs which we may have, and then we can cater to those needs. Stress is definitely all-time high, so stress relief is important. You can invest in your hobbies, you can do whatever stress relieving activities you are interested in, but please do try to give it a little bit time every single day, to take away your mind from everything which is going on, around us. Staying connected virtually is another great way to know that, we are not alone. Whether it is your friends, your family, or your internet friends, do try to check in with them once in a while, whenever whenever you feel comfortable. Reaching out for help, something I was, highlighting earlier. Do reach out for support. There are so many helplines in each country, in each city. There are also a lot of anonymous platforms. There are organizations like Speaking Grey, some my like the non-profit I run, and there are so many brilliant organizations which have dedicated their work to the cause of mental health awareness and emotional well-being. So try to reach out to these organizations if you don't trust someone around you, and you don't feel comfortable in telling them that you're not doing that well emotionally. If you feel that these symptoms are not getting under control, and there has been a time wherein you haven't felt better, please do not hesitate in reaching out for professional help and support, which means basically looking looking for a therapist, or looking for a like a professional person who can actually guide you through the process. Something which I always say, and a lot of people say, that there is no health with there can never be any health without mental health. If you can see, this is mental health, this is physical health, and in the intersection, in the overlap of both, lies our well-being. We have to take care of our mental health as well as our physical health to lead a healthy life. Certain stats to share with you, that 1 in 5 people live with a mental health condition globally, but 5 in 5 people have mental health. So all of us have mental health, and all of us need to take care of our mental health. Mental health is not, mental health doesn't mean mental illness. It is definitely more than the absence of a mental illness. We don't have to, only take care of our mental health when we see these stressful symptoms, or where, when we see that, okay, our anxiety is, getting out of control. I think irrespective whether we feel these issues or we see these issues or not, we still need to take care of our mental health. Mental health check-ins with self and others are super important. So I hope you can develop that habit of checking in with yourself and with your loved ones. Self-care needs to be a high priority during these times, and I hope that each one of us can invest in that. Lastly, I would just like to share that if you want to get in touch or be involved and just learn more about self-care, mental health, then please do reach out to me, or do reach out to Speaking Grey. You will find a lot of mental health stories, people who have recovered from depression, anxiety, bipolar. You'll find some inspirational stories. You'll also find a lot of free resources, and at the same time we also organize a lot of free events, community events for people. So anytime you think that you're alone, or you don't know how to cope with things, there are different platforms which can support you. So in any way, if I or my nonprofit can help any one of you who is attending the event today, then please do reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have, or to support you little better in any way I can. And with that, thank you so much for paying attention and for listening. I hope this was insightful. If there are any questions, please feel free to drop in the chat. And otherwise, I will just take your leave, and I will look forward to seeing some of you and all of you, on our platforms. Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Miss IDC. Thank you, and I believe if there's any question coming up, you'll drop it and we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Please, I will. It'll be such a pleasure, Fatima. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, hello everyone.
I think Miss Cynthia, are you ready for us now?
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Then go on, please.
Okay. Please, Miss Fatima, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and I am so excited to be here today. I would like to say, first of all, I'm sorry about the whole technical issues. I had no idea. I've been on the call since it started, and all of a sudden, I'm supposed to speak, and my village people visited. What a good way to end the day. But either ways, I'm so excited to be here. And before I go into everything proper, I would like to clear a misconception first. Uh, Recently, a friend of mine reached out to me on LinkedIn and wanted to know how he could create a Flutterwave account. And at that time, I was like, okay, I understood what he wanted to ask. And I just gave him my contact and said he could reach out to me and we'll just talk about it when he was fine with it. So when he reached out, he was like, okay, how could he go about it? And I said, what do you need a Flutterwave account for? He now said, I should explain what Flutterwave is to him first, and then he would know. I said, okay, Flutterwave is just a is a fintech company that's trying to make financial transactions easier. And though that's like the major thing, they also have like storefronts and other products they have to. And he could read up if he wanted to know more. That I really don't know much about the company. I just know it based on I read up once in a while. And he was like, you work with Flutterwave, so you should know. I said, no, I don't work with Flutterwave. Now I want to take time to explain to you. I don't work with Flutterwave, I work with Flutter. All right. Now, the difference between Flutter and Flutterwave is a financial fintech startup, or not even a startup anymore. It's a fintech unicorn, like huge business right now. And Flutter is a framework for developing cross-platform applications. We'll see more about that as we go down. Welcome everyone to the International Women's Day, Abuja 2021. Courage to create. It's my pleasure to be here today. Before I begin, I would like to appreciate the speakers for this event and organizers too for an amazing job. Please, I would really encourage everyone to give them a round of applause, please. So, on to the next one. I like to tag my talk like this, Flutter 101, because it's just getting started in Flutter. All right. Before I go into that, my name is Peter Cynthia Chidera. My Twitter handle is I am Cynthia Peter, just in case if you want to connect. I do programming, but specifically I am currently doing mobile app development using Flutter and Dart. And when I'm not doing that, you could catch me writing. I do a lot of technical writing too. I do lots of technical and content development. And recently I picked up UX writing. And so far, it's been going well, though hectic, but we are doing it. Getting started with Flutter, I would like to discuss 5 major points, right? What is Flutter? Why learn Flutter? Who should learn or use Flutter? Where do I start from? And how do I get started? What is Flutter? Flutter is Google's UI toolkit for crafting beautiful, natively compiled applications for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base. Okay, that's according to Flutter.dev. That's according to the makers and the writers from the Google's team, right? But to me, I always say Flutter is a development framework built by Google and used for cross-platform development. This simply means it can be used to build applications for macOS, Linux, Android, Windows, iOS, and even Fuchsia, all using a single code base. What it simply means is Flutter is a framework. It's just like a box of tools. You know, when you have to build a house, you don't necessarily need to make your own sand. You don't need to make your own cement.
You don't need to make your own shovel. You don't need to make your own trowel. Like, you don't imagine when you have to build a house and then you take your time out and you start melting iron because you want to make a shovel for yourself. I mean, it makes sense. You could decide to want to customize something to work for you, right? But imagine if you had to build everything you need to build your own house by yourself, or using laborers. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be more than demanding. All right. So what Flutter does is Flutter prepares you the sand, it prepares you the stone, and it prepares, at a point, it even makes you the block you're going to be needing for the house. It basically gives you a toolbox of everything you need to create cross-platform application. Now, if you watch my definition, I highlighted some things. Flutter is a development framework. A framework is just a box of tools, or I like to call it a box, but it's mainly tools, resources that could help you build stuff. Now, Flutter is built by Google, all right? It's built by the Google team, and it's built using Dart, and it's used for cross-platform development. Now, cross-platform development in this sense means you can use Flutter to build for both mobile, that is iOS and Android. At the same time, you could build for Windows, you could build for Linux, and you could build for macOS. And recently, I think they're using it for some cars, for simulations. All right. Recently, Toyota announced at the Flutter event, Flutter Engage last time, that they were using Flutter to build for their cars. And recently, I think it's was it BMW that also announced the same thing. So Flutter is really actually growing, and it's really pulling off the cross-platform title that it has. It's really not going down or giving up on pulling off the crown that it has for the cross-platform. Okay, using a single code base. So when you're running Flutter, you don't necessarily need to, unlike if you learn, for example, if you learn some other frameworks like JavaScript, if you want to build a mobile app, you need to use React Native. If you want to build a website, you need to use React for the front end, and then maybe Node and any of that for the back end. Okay, with Flutter, it's just Flutter. Flutter just does the whole UI, and then you choose one language that you can use for back end if you choose to not use Dart. All right, so that's it. Why should you care? Okay, Flutter is easily implemented. You can easily just cook up a design, and it's just looks beautiful across platforms. Now, why it's easy to design on Flutter, unlike other development platform like Android, is because when you code with Flutter, you have features, two remarkable features. There are lots of features, but two remarkable features: hot restart and hot reload feature. The hot restart allows you to, let's say, refresh in seconds. Now, if you have any experience with developing on Android, you'd understand that if you're developing on Android, the problem comes with reloading or making changes. You're making a design, it takes time. Now, for someone like me, the previous PC I used before now, even though the one I'm using now still sucks a lot, it takes lots of time to work. The previous system I was in before now, I would probably do a Flutter run, which is a command to run a Flutter project. And then I could probably go into the kitchen, cook beans and yam, and then come back, serve it, eat, probably take a shower before it actually finished to run. All right. So it takes time. It takes time when you don't have a fast PC, or when you don't have a good internet most of the time. But then these are issues that the Flutter team put in mind when they were designing Flutter, and then they introduced hot restart. So with hot restart, you don't necessarily need to reload the whole app to start from the scratch. With hot restart and hot reload, when you just tap on it, or you just run it on your terminal, it just
takes like seconds, milliseconds sometimes on very fast computers and just reloads the page. All right. Flutter has a growing and a supportive community. So imagine a community where you come in and then you have all the opportunity in the world. You have all the opportunity in the world to just meet people and just communicate with people. I've had the honors of talking to really cool Flutter developers that helped me in my journey. Okay, because when I started to learn, I started learning by myself. Actually, I just picked Flutter up after school. I graduated from school, went for my NYSC, my National Youth Service Corps, and it was during that time I said, okay, I needed to focus on learning just one language. I needed to drop whatever I know about school, whatever I've learned in school, and it was time to get work done. All right. So that was why I picked Flutter, because I kind of got convinced by a friend of mine that it was really a future. There was a future in Flutter. So I picked it up. So Flutter has a growing and supportive community. All I've learned, yes, all I've learned has, I've never gone to a boot camp. I've never really attended a lecture or a training for Flutter developers. All I've gotten has been from community. It's either it's a material or it's an article or it's a video. There are lots and tons of resources out there for you to learn from. Then it's cross-platform development. Wouldn't you just rather learn one language or one framework and use it to build across all platforms than learning different languages? Because I know some people that have that need to learn they need to learn for front. They need to learn front end. They need to learn. You need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then you have to learn maybe Vanilla JS or then Angular or React. And sometimes you have to learn all of them to pull off a project. Now Flutter does all of it. It gives you beautiful UI and it gives you really cool animations too. Really cool animations too. Now, when we go to open source, it's open source. Open source is just simply uh, a project that is out there. Like you as a developer or as an enthusiast, you could just go to the official GitHub um, repo for Flutter, and you have access to clone the Flutter repo and just play around with it. You could play around with it. You could make contributions. You could detect errors or issues and propose solutions to it. And you're in. You're a contributor. It's easy to use. Flutter is really easy to use. I'm not saying it because I'm a Flutter developer. I'm saying it because I've written several languages before now. I've used several frameworks before now. And in as much as most of the time I beat myself up for not doing so well using Flutter, I know how much I've grown. I know how much I've learned using Flutter, probably because I now have a different approach towards learning. I'm not in school anymore. I'm not under pressure to code while I'm studying and all that. But then I feel this really comfort whenever I'm working on Flutter projects. All right. Most importantly, you should care about Flutter because you can't afford to not care. And because you need to create and break things and earn while at it. Now, for most people, lots of people say if you're not passionate about programming or development, then you shouldn't be doing it. No, I'm not an advocate for that. If you want to go into programming because you feel there's a future in it for you and you'll be able to make some money and save yourself a lot of stress and all that, then please, by all means. For someone like me, I went into development because I found it as a niche that I can actually excel in. Okay, I love products. I love the idea of a startup or a business idea. I want to talk about businesses and all that. So somehow I got into it and it helped me a lot. Okay, so if you feel like you can do programming a lot, you could do other things, just like our previous speaker talked about. Okay, but it's okay to do programming because you want to earn. Trust me, it's okay. um, okay, sorry about that. Okay, who should care? Okay, when it comes to why should I care or who should care, when they mentioned that we'll be having lots of people join the call today, I said, okay, fine. You don't necessarily need to be a developer to care about Flutter
it's a CTO can care, because a CTO makes most of the decisions when it comes to what stack or what technologies should be used for pushing out products, right? So a CTO can be interested in Flutter. A startup founder, you have a startup and you're probably a business person and you want a product to be done immediately. Now, why it's important for you to understand what Flutter does is, with Flutter as a startup owner, if your startup is something that needs an app or a website or something like that, you can actually build an MVP in a very short period of time. Like, I'm talking about in a month, 3 months, you have an MVP that you can send out to the market. Unlike when you need to design the app separately, the desktop application, you have to design everything separately. It's different, right? So product owners also should care, because it's your product, it's your thing. They have the same roles to play with the startup founder. You can decide, okay, I want to build everything. I want to build an MVP in 3 months and get it out and see what people think about my products. And it's your call. You can decide, okay, hey guys, I've read about Flutter before and I have an idea. Could we try Flutter? Right? Then product managers also, you manage products and all that, so you can always care. Developers, you want to stay at the top of your game. You want to build stuff faster, then yeah, you should learn Flutter also. Enthusiasts, I understand that lots of the people listening to me today are really not Flutter developers and just people that would really want to come into tech. Please, by all means, you're welcome. All right, you're welcome, because there's lots of space for more people. There's lots of space for people that want to actually learn, lots of space for people that want to actually be developers. So you're welcome anytime. Where do I start from? Okay, starting out with this whole thing, it's actually really difficult. It's hard most of the time choosing.
Your slides is not moving. It's been on the first page since you started.
Oh, really?
Yes,
And it's been moving over here. That's weird.
it's not moving at this end.
Okay, let me try again. Let me try sharing again. Mm, share, share screen, share screen. Uh, can you see it now?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it's
awesome
up.
then. Okay. Okay. What we'll do is, after the talk, I'll send the slides to the organizers so anyone could get access to it. Okay. So where do I start from? When you make a decision to learn something new, the hardest part is actually where to start. That's like the toughest part, where to start. So I always advise people, when you want to learn something new, the first place is go to the official document for that thing, the official page. All right, when you go through it, you may not get exactly all you want, but you get an idea of what you're going into, because there are always links to videos, link to resources that could help you learn. So flutter.dev is always the first place I recommend people to go to. And then there's executing.io. They have really amazing resources for Dart programming language. Then there's Field Stacks on YouTube, and he has a personal webpage also. There's abbrewery.co. There is Code with Andrea, Ray Wendelish, and Udemy. These resources mentioned above are mostly free, affordable, and recommended. There are lots more, but these are beginner friendly, especially Angela Yu's course on our brewery and the official Flutter site. I wouldn't want to overwhelm anyone with so many details, but if after looking through these and you need to dive deep or buy a course, you can always find some really good courses online. So to start, I always recommend the first place to go to is flutter.dev. That's the official Flutter page. And funny enough, Flutter.dev is like one of the best uh, documentations you can find out there, because they have they incorporated lots of resources to it. There are videos, there are links to other articles from the community members, and there are code labs too. So once you can hop on Flutter.dev, I think you're like one step ahead. towards this journey. How to get started? You need a Mac or a PC. Unfortunately, so far, Flutter cannot run on phone yet, on mobile phones yet. So you need a PC or a Mac to get started. You need access to good internet and, of course, electricity. All right. You need to install Android Studio and SDK tools. You need to install Flutter. Uh, but before all of this, once you have a PC, all you need to do is just go to flutter.dev and you follow the instructions straight up. It's really not hard. And if you run into an issue, you can always hit me up on Twitter or on any social media platform. You could hit me up on, or hit any developer you feel it's a Flutter developer already. You could hit them up and just get help from them. And once you are able to install Flutter successfully, you automatically are able to run your first app, which is the test app that comes with Flutter itself. So whenever you run a Flutter create or you create a new Flutter application, the first thing that runs is like a test app, which is like a default counter app for Flutter. Okay, so after that, you can just follow through. There are code labs that you'll be suggested to take, and there are courses you could take immediately once you install Flutter. So one of the beautiful things with Flutter is you can build anything at all with Flutter. Anything, just think it and you can do it. Okay, this is a simple calculator UI, a tip calculator actually, UI that I needed to build for an article. All right. I got the design from Dribble. It's by Dave Mars. And when I got the UI, at first I was like, okay, this is really out of my my league, maybe. But then I looked at it and I was like, but maybe it's something that should be doable, right? I mean, it is very simple design. There are no lots of things. It shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, it shouldn't be that complicated. And then I went into developing it. And funny enough, even though I am a very lazy person, I still had it completed in days, in a matter of days. I had the app running in like 2 or 3 days, right? Even though it's just like 3 screens, though, but trust me, it's lots of work, given that I'm a very lazy person. So, ta-da! This is what I came up with. And trust me, building this project was fun because I got to learn a lot. I learned a lot of things from building this project. And if anyone wants a link to it, after now, maybe you're a Flutter developer already, I could just give you link to the access to the GitHub profile, and you can make contribution, look through it, and see if it's something that interests you or something you want to pick up. All right. So it's really beautiful to just think of a design or just think of a product or a solution you want to solve. And if it's something that you can solve using an application, you just need to talk to a designer or go online on Dribble or any UI platform and get a design and just implement it. All right. So this is the design and this is the implementation by yours truly. I really don't know how to blush, but I mean, that emoji just explains it all. So, in summary, it is really not easy or very rosy. I know when some of you get the news about Flutterwave acquiring, being a unicorn, or you hear Paystack being acquired for 200 million or whatever dollars, and you're like, whoa, I want to be a tech bro, or I want to be friends with the tech bro. It's really not easy. All right, it's really not easy. There are days you're frustrated, there are days you're depressed, there are days you just cry, there are days you just want to throw your laptop off out the window. I know a friend of mine that has stayed 3 weeks fixing just one bug. All right, we've had really frustrating days. Like, it's not easy. Really, it's not easy. And this generally for anything at all you're doing in tech, it's really not easy. Most of you must know, maybe you know friends or you know people that are actually successful in this thing. It's not as rosy as it seems. It's not as rosy as them wearing expensive clothes, wristwatches, sneakers, and all that. All right. You need to know more than just I want to do Flutter. You need to be able to just stand no matter what. No matter how much it hits you, you need to just stand. Really. I'm really not a motivational speaker, but trust me, Anybody that wants to do programming, whether it's Flutter or any language at all, or anything at all, programming, UI, UX, or even just technical writing, it's not easy. You need consistency, you need internet, you need electricity, and you need a solid mental health, because e go choke. Like, you wake up one day and you be like, see, whoa, I don't want to do again. See, if it's not by force, let me go and marry, or let me go and do this or that. All right. So it's something that I've said it myself a million and 10 times, and my friends will be like, but you're good at this thing. The fact that it's not working today, or the fact that you didn't get this job, or the fact that you didn't get this opportunity, doesn't mean you're not good. You're good. It's really just not your time. So you need to be able to tell yourself, okay, it's not my time yet. And you don't know how long your time would be. Funny enough, you don't know how long. No one ever knows how long. Some people stay in this whole thing for 10 years, some stay for 5 years. I mean, Paystack was not just acquired in a day. They stayed for years. All right. Flutterwave did not just become a unicorn in a day. They stayed for years also. So I think that's how the journey as a developer or as a person in tech is. All right. You have to be able to sit down, watch out. So I'm so happy that we had to talk about mental health, because it's very important. I really didn't even pay a lot of attention to the whole solid mental health. And I'm so happy the previous speaker spoke a lot about it. All right. Flutter is the future, and I'll say the future is now. So why are you still hesitating? Head on to flutter.dev to get started, and you can reach out to anyone in the community for help. All right. Now that's a slide talking. Me, I would say, please reach out to me. All right. I know most of the time I lock myself out from social media because I want to focus and get something done. Maybe it's usually during maybe a tight time or all that. And it happens to most of us too. Most developers I know too. I reach out to them like, hey, Cynthia, please, I'm really busy right now and I can't attend to you. And I accept it, because that's I understand. That is how it should be. And I move on to the next person. And I can tell you, I've made really cool friends uh, from being a Flutter developer. I really haven't. I was recently in an interview, and they asked me what was my experience with remote work, and I said I've been working for 3 years now, and I haven't been to an office. I haven't. I just people just contact me online. Hey Cynthia, we need you to write an article. Hey Cynthia, we need to jump on this team and get this job done. And it's been working for me. All right. And that's the life I chose, because I'm really not the going out person. I just want to go out and have fun. I don't want anything that will bring me stress. All right. So it's okay to want to come in tech, and it's okay to want to stay in tech. Now, what matters a lot more is you deciding that you've started this thing and you're going to see it to the finish. Now, it's okay to come in as a programmer and then divert and go into UI UX or product design. It's also very okay. All right. You don't really have to beat yourself up if you're not able to figure out the whole programming things. I have friends that are designers. I have friends that are doing other things in tech, and they are doing very well, and they're earning as much and even more sometimes. So you just need to find your niche. What works for you? What do you feel comfortable doing? All right. What do you feel comfortable doing, and what ticks it for you? Figure out that thing, and if it means picking up Flutter or picking up web development to be able to say, okay, I'm really interested more in product building, then by all means, please. So thank you very much for joining us in this talk. I initially was supposed to run some codes, but then I come to understand that most of the people attending the talk today are really not familiar with Flutter, and it's hard to communicate with everyone and tell everyone to install Flutter before today. And I wouldn't want to force anyone. It's just after this talk, you can just go back and see for yourself. Flutter is really not hard. It's just instructing the computer to just paint your screen, show colors here and there, and just see what works. That's what Flutter does most of the time, especially if you don't have a design you're following. But then even if you have a design you're following, you still have to be able to throw around colors, throw around the numbers, and see what works, what fits. And then you just go with it. All right. Thank you to everyone that already spoke before me. It was nice connecting with you all. Thank you to the organizers also. And I really look forward to answering your questions after now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for that presentation. And for anyone who didn't work with Roger, that was an awesome one. Thank you.
Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much for that wonderful section. That was really inspiring. Okay, there are some questions in the comment section. We have one on web and the other on cyber security. So, our speaker, Joy Amadikwa, get ready. I'm going to read out the question. And also, Divisri, you have a question as well. Okay. Okay, the first question. What is your advice on WordPress? Is it cool or should I focus on HTML, CSS, Java, etc.? I want to start my journey in tech environment. So, Joy, that question is for you. Feel free to answer. Sure. Joy, are you there? Okay, if you have any question for Cynthia, feel free to drop it at the comment section. So back to our giveaway. Okay, there's one for Cynthia. Okay. Okay, there's a question. What do you say about cyber security and Flutter? This is coming from Charity Chris.
Is a question for me?
Yes. What do you say about cyber? Yes, it is.
Okay, the thing is this, like I said, you can actually do more than one thing. You just need to figure out what works for you, right? If you're passionate about security, there are lots of things you can even bring in as a mobile app developer or a Flutter developer when you combine it with cybersecurity, all right? Because cybersecurity is just the whole protection against cyber crime or cyber whatever. So it still works with anything at all. Like I said, I am a Flutter developer, right? But I still do technical writing and I still do UX writing. I do content development also. And all these are like different niches altogether. But somehow it just works together also because I can write an article for a Flutter development blog. I can write for lots of big companies also. And I can still just do random content development and then just write for the fun of it for myself on my own blog. So learning cybersecurity and Flutter is okay. You just have to start with one first because it's really frustrating to go into these two things at the same time. Doing except you're a very good multitasker. So if you're a very good multitasker, please by all means you could do two of them, and there are lots of resources online to learn both. But if you're not, if you're like me, that's lazy, then one thing at a time, I would suggest because learning these things are really not child's play. So you want to learn at least Flutter or cybersecurity for like 3 months or 6 months before you go into the other. So there are no like conflicting ideas or conflicting everything, and you can have time. Except of course you have all the time to yourself. You're not working and you're not studying. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Cynthia, for clearing that up. Now I'm going to go straight to our giveaway winners. We have Emmanuel, Emmy at, okay, we have Emmy. Then we also have Beatrice Gardia at Bigadia. So they are going to get they are going to get t-shirt each and a jet brain coupon. So at this note, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out, for listening and asking questions and participating. I really, really appreciate. I hope you guys learned a lot because I did. I learned a whole lot from all our wonderful speakers. Like it's been an honor to be among such accomplished people. Actually, I really want to say thank you all and do have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Ah, bye everyone and have fun.